Hi, my name is Rachael Monroe. I'm in AS280 Section 201 Group 6, and today I'm going to be peer reviewing Michaela Carter's Street Photography Part 1. And the first thing I want to go over is, did she understand the requirements of the project? Now, the requirements were to have at least 75 photos, 100 plus photos for full credit, no family or friends in the pictures, to be taken off campus, to be taken with not in a car or with a zoom lens, and to use black and white if possible. Now, the first thing I'm going to go through is the 75 to 100 photos. She definitely made the criteria for that. She had around 104 photos, and I could tell just because there's 5 in a row and all the way down just adds up to 104, so she met that. And now the second thing was no family or friends. And when I look at all of the photos, I'm quite certain that most of them are not family or friends. She was in downtown Lexington, and a lot of them were just, seemed like strangers or just people who were just on their way to a different part of the city. So that also means that it wasn't on campus. I don't think she took any of these from a car. Most of them were on a sidewalk, or like looking across the street, or in a crosswalk. The next thing that I want to look at is, did she use elements of design and good photography? So the top thing is, did she have good composition, and did she follow the videos and like the tips that we were given about good street photography? One thing that we were told to do is have a lot of people in our photos, and she definitely used a lot of faces. I can even start just with the beginning. She has a lot of photos, mostly with people, their backs turned towards us. Occasionally, someone will be on the side, which I really like. Some of them look into the camera. He definitely was looking into the camera. I'm not sure if she had a conversation with any of them. I don't think she did. I mean, I don't personally know, but I assume she didn't. And for good composition, I definitely think this is somewhat balanced. Obviously, my eyes are drawn towards more to the left and then down because of the shadow. Just with my own eye, this looks like it meets the rule of third, which is also great. She uses a lot of lines, which I really like in her photos. And everything seems to balance out. This is a good example of using rule of thirds and being proportionate. The next thing I want to go to is, does she capture a sense of the place? And I definitely think through all of the photos that the kind of like the story was just like people of Lexington, and just like where people are going when they're downtown. And it's always that people are on the move, they're going different places. And what was good about her photos? There were a couple that really stood out to me, and I wrote them down. And the first one was this photo. It was right in front of the Lexington Fayette courts. I'm not sure what was going on, but it kind of looks like they all knew one another. This guy on the right-hand side really stood out to me, and I think that's what made it my favorite photo. I like that the photo was taken, like the sidewalk was straight down the middle, so that just kind of balances everything out, but there's just something throwing it off, which is the guy standing out. And I think that this bench on the side kind of evened that out. Since they were diagonal, they were just opposite. And then the other photo that I really liked was this photo. I wasn't expecting it to be so interesting, but I just like the guy in the corner smoking a cigarette. I don't know why, it just really was interesting. And then the perspective with the lines from the different buildings, I just think really pulled it all together. A couple photos that I thought were weak or could use some improvement was this photo, just because I think the person that she captured was just a little too far away. The white balance was just a little off, and I think that just this beam entrance to, I assume, a parking garage, it just kind of didn't really seem proportionate or have good composition. And then the other one that I think could use some improvement was 1379. So right here. And just also with the white balance, and I just think the cars in front kind of offset the picture. I think everything was towards the left, and I think the picture may have been better if these cars weren't in the in the frame at all. I just think that those lines would really have helped. And if she was taking the picture at a different angle, maybe from like the worm's eye view instead of straight on. And I think that's just a couple tips that she could use to improve were to make sure that photos were taken when people weren't in motion. A lot of them have their legs kind of spread, and although this picture is kind of clear, some of them just were, I think, a little bit too much in motion. And then she should get closer with her photos. A lot of these are taken from the opposite side of the street or with their backs turned, and I think that her photos would just become so much more better if she got a little bit closer. And then just the white balance. So yeah, I think that overall, her photos definitely stood out to me. I looked through a couple other people's, and I just think hers had really good composition. They followed the criteria. Yeah, and I just can't wait to see what she does for the street photography final.